Thank you, Judy. Your preludes always get me kind of dancing up here, so that's good, I hope. I welcome you all to Unity South Twin Cities this last Sunday of April. Can you believe it? Time is marching on, but that's good because that means this church is moving, and it is. So, will you join with me in prayer as we set the intention for this hour we share together? Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. In our complicated world, help us to realize what really matters. In a life of simplicity, we can greet each morning, each passing moment with gratitude that we exist in your world of possibility, and your Spirit has given us the ability to choose. Choose life-sustaining actions, choose love-empowering relationships, choose wisdom-expanding practices. Let us cherish this world of wonder. And now let us affirm together our statement of being. There is but one presence and one power in my life, in this church, and in the universe. God, the omnipotent good. Are you sure? Are you convinced? Is your mind focused on what Charles and Myrtle Fillmore called the potentialities of God in you? The potentialities of God in you. Or we might say more simply, that the power within you can meet every need of your life and can make you a blessing to this community and our world. Believe it, live it, demonstrate it. Well, I welcome all who have joined us in our beautiful sanctuary. Good to see your smiling faces. And I appreciate all of you who have joined us online. Be sure to send us your name and location because it's a great blessing and gift to us to know that someone in Iowa, someone in New York State, I know someone in Phoenix are joining us for this service. Because we can just stop and think, how wonderful. Before COVID, before our technology to take Unity's good message beyond this building, it was really just within these walls that we could think of what we were joining together. And now we can pause and think that there are good people, you, here and there and throughout the country that are joining. I don't know, it's not really bragging, but just have to say I've had a couple of folks in Europe tune into our website and express gratitude for the message that we take the time to focus on and carry out into our world. Not that we're the only community doing that, but we're doing it. And it's making a difference. And so I am grateful for all of you who continue to make this possible. This church, our outreach to the world, and now that brings me to an announcement. We have a newly revived effort that we call Unity in the Community. How do we show up in the greater community of the Twin Cities? And I asked, and she graciously agreed, Carol Moen, to be our guide for that project. And she has arranged for us experiences at VEEP, which means Volunteers Enlisted to Assist People, located in Bloomington, this coming Friday from 2 to 4. You can ask her if you have questions, but it's really important that you sign up downstairs in the rotunda today so that she can send you the location and some other basic information. And then toward the end of May, we will be going to Bridging, where Carol's volunteered a lot, but it is the largest furniture pantry, if I may call it, in our country. Started here in Bloomington, and it has helped approximately how many people furnish homes? Do you know? Well, I know it's... Yeah, and this has gone on for years, so it's thousands. I know I've read the number. And Veep, for those that are leaving homelessness and finding stable housing, Veep will furnish it completely. Everything from dishes, kitchenware, towels, linens, furniture. They even let the individuals choose artwork to make their new home beautiful. It's a wonderful organization. And in these events, you will tour the facility. You'll learn about their mission. And then we will have a teamwork project together where we'll work side by side and really make a difference, at least for a day, to these organizations serving our community. Secondly, I invite you to notice on your way in and out through the rotunda, there's a display table for our fundraising and Mother's Day experience. We do this each year. We're doing it a little bit different this year. Lindy has found a local artist who has provided us with beautiful sun catchers, or one could put it on a necklace as well, stars and hearts, as a gift for your mother or a special individual in your life that mothers and nurtures you. And we will also next week have fresh plants that you can also purchase as a gift. All proceeds benefit the church. So please see about that this week or next and be prepared for Mother's Day on May 14th. Today we have Judy Moen, our mighty musical director, carrying the whole service with her musical talents. We get to focus on Judy today. So, and on our live stream we have Adam Schneider and Tyler Stromquist-Lavoie keeping all of the magic happening. So with that said, and folks, it's a lot of work. I know where the master switch is to turn the machines on, but that's as far as I can go. So I'm extremely grateful that this outreach to the world is made possible. And it's also a service. You know, we have a number of dedicated, supportive members of this church that because of their life situation, it's not always easy for them to be here in person. And they are so grateful that they can tune in to Unity South. Even if they're out of town, they can find us. So, with that in mind, I invite you to stand as Carlotta helps lead us in a great old song. This is a Unity classic written by Carmen Mosier, an individual that wrote many energetic, exciting songs for our Unity services. So I invite you to turn in your hymnal, a little change of pace, to number 195, Life is for Living. And let's really go at it, Carlotta. Okay.
Life is
I'm sorry. Wow, hallelujah, yeehaw, some of my favorite words. So, let us now center our attention as we do what seems small, but we know it is the most powerful, essential work we do as this spiritual family of Unity South, and that is to acknowledge the divine life, the truth within each individual. So I invite you to look around the room, choose a smiling face to lock onto, and say aloud or silently, I behold the Christ in you. And now, let's remember our friends who've joined us from outside this city, outside this state, maybe outside this country. And look at the camera over the entry doors. Wave to them. We're glad you're with us. And now let's affirm this truth for them. We behold the Christ in you, wherever you are, whoever you are. This holds true. The Christ, the divine presence, is within you. You can count on it. You can demonstrate it. It is your strength, your love, your wisdom. And now I invite you to just expand this awareness we have formed together and think of people all over the world. So many different faith traditions, different understandings of God, but people all over this globe this week are turning their attention Godward. That is, turning their attention to the source of all life, all good, as they understand it. And we want to acknowledge that. We don't just confine our praise to our fellow Unity churches around the country and the world. We acknowledge that all faith, all religious practice is good, is wonderful, and is lifting this world up. Thanks be to God for this world of wonders in which we live. You know the word. Wow. Wow. So now it is my pleasure to invite my good friend and our prayer chaplain, Yvette Trotman, to the stage. She's going to share with us the theme from Unity's Daily Word and then guide us in a community prayer where we come together in one focus.
Thank you, Reverend Stacey. And good morning, Unity South family. The daily word for today is simplicity. I pause to appreciate life's simplest blessings. Today I give thanks for the simplest blessings, the small things that bring a smile to my lips and a warm feeling to my heart. A hug from a friend, a cuddle from a grandchild, or stroking the soft fur of a beloved pet fills my awareness with love. The sudden lift I get seeing a favorite person's handwriting in the mail, or the thrill of spotting a rainbow after a cleansing rain shower spark lasting happiness in my heart. These things and more remind me that true contentment is found in life's smallest moments, the everyday treasures that comprise daily life and draw me close to God. I focus on these simple blessings and grow in gratitude for my life's many gifts. Psalm 144:15. Happy are the people to whom such blessings fall. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. And as we settle in our seats for the community prayer, we prepare to receive God's presence this morning by taking a deep, cleansing breath of peace at your pace. Breathe in peace and breathe out peace. As we sit in the comfort of our silence today, we begin our prayer time together with a pause. A pause to refresh and acknowledge the presence and power of God. As we continue to focus on slowing our breathing, let us continue to breathe in peace and breathe out peace. Silent Unity's affirmation reads, "In the knowledge of God and my divine nature, I cease mental confusion. I come to swift agreement, mind and heart sure and steady. Nothing can disturb my peace of mind or my harmonious heart, for I am anchored in divine peace. In this state of peace, with each breath flowing in and flowing out, it settles into the rhythm of my heart and my mind. I am peace. I drink in this spirit of peace the moment I seek to understand and appreciate others. I am peace. I steer my mind away from the challenge of the world around me and recognize that no condition can cause me unrest. I am peace. I find my peace in the wonders and the blessings in my life. I am peace. Centered in peace and filled with gratitude, I stand anchored in divine peace. I am honored by the trust of those who have asked Unity South to pray with them. I recognize all qualities of God as active in their lives. I hold steadfast in affirming this truth within these individuals. I know that Spirit is working in their lives and in the lives of all of us here today. As I further awaken to the affirmation that divine peace is my true nature. In the silence, peace be still. We are now guided and poised to sing the Lord's Prayer.
This day our daily bread,
Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever.
Sharon Rolofson, our prayer chaplain for today, will be happy to visit with you at the back of the room after services. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvette. And now, a special joy to hear the artistry of Judy Moen. But I wanted to give a little introduction. The piece that she's going to play creates an image of water. And today, my lesson, when is enough enough? I think we're all quite aware that different parts of our country are seeing different sides of that coin. Some experiencing drought, and some experience flooding. So I invite you, as you take in this beautiful music of Judy's, to let it paint an image before your soul. In what areas of your life, your community, and your world do you need to find a balance between drought and flooding, a gracious sufficiency in your life? Let this be a meditation for you. Thank you, Judy. That washed over my soul, cleansing, renewing life. But we have to remember to pay attention to the blessing that exists in each moment, each day, each contact renews our soul, just like that beautiful music. Give thanks, rejoice. Jesus spoke to the woman the Samaritan woman at the well. I will tell you of a living water. You drink of it, and you shall never thirst. And that is gratitude, thanksgiving. I thank Tyler for choosing the graphic on our bulletin because it really helped me center on my theme. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. 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 Kelly von Heidenkampf presented to the early service a question this morning. It was inspired by our founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Can you do the things that Jesus did? Charles Fillmore and Myrtle both said, yes, you can. Because Jesus knew with universal laws, God's principle of good, and how to draw them forth. Of course, we all remember the feeding of the multitude, just a few fishes and loaves of bread, because he knew how to use it. Well, we know, if we pay attention, how to use the goodness of God. And that is to apply what we have in this moment for what we want to accomplish. We keep the faith individually and as a community. What's ours to do? What we really want to do for this church, this community. And Spirit will provide the substance. Now, for something totally different. Woody Allen once said, if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. If you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. And so it's been this week. I could tell you, or as Joan Rivers said, can we talk? All the things that went off the page, off the tracks, off my plans. I had a lot of specific things I worked out for this week. And things just didn't work out that way. Now, if I fret and get all upset, it could have been a bad week. But I said, I trust the process. There are good people here. There's good power here. God is here. And all kinds of miraculous things unfolded. So when I think of Woody Allen's humor, if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. We have to have flexibility. And we have to remember, as Myrtle said, even if all the circumstances here look differently, we have to remember we always have what we need to meet the moment and to meet the day. as long as we are open-hearted, open-minded, and go forward. But it was a week of unpredictability. And all of a sudden I heard the song coming up in my mind as Mother Mary said to her son, Paul, "Let it be. Oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be." When is enough enough? This is certainly a two-way reflection on life. To achieve balance, perhaps I need more or less. We consider that our world is both about simplicity and complexity. What is it in your life that is calling out for balance? I kept finding myself this week just kind of unconsciously making this gesture. What is this all about? What is this all about? What's a gesture in me wanting to find balance in my life? And that means looking at every aspect of my life, and like Judy's beautiful music and the watery image, what in my life is in drought, drying up? And what in my life is getting a little bit too much, is being inundated, overflowing? How can I find balance so that I can answer this question, when is enough enough? I appreciated the fact that even though I didn't know it ahead of time, Daily Word always comes to support me. And so today, it came with that word Yvette shared, simplicity. Simplicity. What is really needed in this moment? Whether it's my relationship with an individual or with a group, or whether it is me, myself, and I. What is needed right now, here, to find balance? It's a question that I think we must continually ask. You know, I like to give that example of the amazing wisdom of our bodies. Somehow, without our thinking about it, our body continues this balance of breathing, the pulse of our heart keeps us balanced. And we know what happens when that heartbeat or that respiration gets out of balance. We feel we're out of whack. So our body is constantly reminding us to remember, what is the balance here? Well, this led me into one of my favorite teachings. We'll be looking at it again. I haven't taught it since my first year here in 2017, but that is Dr. Maria Nemeth's book, Mastering Life's Energies. And she speaks a great deal about balance. But what was so valuable to me that I've really held to it throughout the years. The world tells you what success is. Success. Maria gives this definition. Success is do what you said you would do with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. It's a very powerful idea to me. to think about it. Do what you said you would do. Then you're in integrity with it. And do it with clarity. What is my intention? What is mine to do? Let me get clear about it. Then do it with focus. That is, how am I going to carry out my intention in the most efficient, successful way? Focus. Third is ease. Ease. Jesus gave that wonderful parabolic phrase or an image with deeper meaning. He said, look at the lilies of the field. They don't toil, they don't struggle, they don't have a lot of angst. They just bloom. They bloom because it is their nature to bloom. They allow their true self to express. So whatever you're doing, whatever this idea of success, you've got clarity, you've got focus, remember ease. If you're struggling, if you're gritting your teeth to get through it, that's telling you something. Maybe something's out of alignment. It shouldn't be so hard. One of my minister friends asked me recently, she was planning on doing something, but it was making the arrangements. Everything was such a struggle. And I said, you know, when I find that I'm struggling, something's not working out, it's difficult, I don't give up easily. But I do pay attention to the struggle. And sometimes it's telling me I don't need to be doing this right now. I remember ease. What is natural for me to do flows with ease. And now this third component, grace. Grace. Some days I feel a little more graceful than others. For Maria Nemeth, she meant by this grace component that we live in an unpredictable world. Things change. Unexpected things happen, even for ministers, even for churches. So the grace is to be able to go with the flow of life even when your plans don't work out as you expected. Maybe Woody Allen knew something, that the universe has a sense of humor. And it says, lighten up. When you've made all these plans and they change, circumstances turn out differently, then work with the opportunity you've been given. It's success. Do what you said you would do with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So this technique of Maria's, of meeting success in the unpredictability of life. Now, before some good Unity student comes to me and challenges that and says, wait a minute, I know thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I know the cause and effect of life. Don't tell me that the world is unpredictable. I see what I want, and with my thoughts and my words, I make it happen. Myrtle had an interesting response to a student 50 years ago that said, well, longer than that, 75 years ago, that said that to her. I'm practicing everything Unity teaches, and my life is still a mess. And she said, dear one, your world is not entirely of your own making. She went on to explain that we live in a great global family, in a network of influences, impulses, energies, forces. There's that element of grace. Do the best you can, and as things shift, remember your inner intention. Say, I formulate a project that I think is really good for Unity South. And for some reason, the circumstances are that it's just not working. Rather than fret about that, say, what was the intention here? What was the intention? To help people in the community find inspiration, find a wow in their life, find a wow in this church. Well, my painting the outside of the church a bright sunny yellow didn't work out, so we'll do something else. We'll channel our intention another way. We're graceful enough to make the best out of what we have, the current situation. There was one New Thought teacher, I loved it, that said if you don't get good results in your life, it's because of your stinking thinking. Did you ever hear that one? I don't believe that we absolutely create the whole world from our thoughts. What I do believe is our focused thoughts and our rich feeling life directed in a particular way help set up the possibility for a wonderful demonstration, a wonderful manifestation. But the world's a complex place. So you do your best. You create the possibility of good, just as Carlotta would plant seeds, bulbs, plants out here in our garden, and then we see what happens. And the good that comes up, we water it and we continue to work with it. But there's no guarantee that what I plant is going to come up exactly how I envisioned it. But that is the mystery and the wonder of life. We plant the seed, the plant, we nurture it, and we're gracious enough to give thanks for the bloom right before us. Now you may wonder about my opening question. When is enough enough? Well, my premise at the beginning was that this is a two-way reflection on life. That we're looking to go with the flow, like that beautiful musical water. We're looking to find balance. And as I said, some parts of our life may be in a drought. Other parts have too much water, too much of our time and attention. So how do we find that balance? Well, I think there's a key question we can start with. And that is, what is the least need for a fulfilling life, for my well-being? And the other side of that question is, what is the most that I can truly appreciate and put to use? When is enough enough? Now, what do we do with this since we claim that we practice a practical spirituality? something we can work with in any circumstance, any day, any place we find ourselves. Well, I suggest take this idea of balance, drought or flood, and think first, your most valuable blessing, your relationships. Your relationships. Am I giving enough or too much to a particular relationship? I'll leave that to you, whether you choose to focus on your spouse, your neighbor, your boss, whatever the relationship is. Just hold that question. Am I giving enough time and attention, enough of my heart, or am I giving it too much? You can ask Carlotta what happens when we overwater our plants. Now think of your possessions, what some of us call our treasure, all of our things and money in the bank and jewels and whatever you want to imagine. You can ask yourself, do I appreciate it enough? Or do I take it for granted, assuming it will always be there? Am I giving it enough or too much? Our possessions, our inner and outer life, our inner life of soul, and our outer life here in the world. Am I giving enough balance between them? Or do I spend all my time rushing around in outer activity and giving myself very little time for rest, reflection, inner renewal? Is there balance? And the last category or polarity that I'll mention is our life as an individual and our life as a community. Do I maintain enough self-concern for my own well-being? Am I giving enough concern to my community life? This church, my neighbors, my workplace, my city, my nation, my world. What is the balance? Well, I want to conclude with a scripture that Myrtle Fillmore continually turned to for balance. And listen to it, because at first hearing, it may sound a little strange. It comes from the book, the letter of James. My brothers and sisters, whenever you face various trials, consider it all joy, because you know the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance complete its work so that you can be complete and whole, lacking in nothing. This was Myrtle Fillmore's catchphrase. She used it constantly as she wrote thousands of letters to Unity students asking for advice, help from Myrtle Fillmore, the mother of Unity. She said, whatever situation you're in, count it joy. Perhaps there's an abundance flowing. Let's be joyful. But perhaps that's diminished to a trickle. Be joyful about what you can learn in this situation. Your ability to use God's principles of good to take a trickle and manifest an abundance. You have that power. It's your power to focus on what is your intention. How will you bring it about? Are you working with ease? And are you working with grace? Planting that seed, seeing what comes up, being grateful for it, joyful in it, watering and nurturing it until more is produced. So I invite you to join me for a moment in the silence as we plant these seeds, these questions, this seeking of balance in our life. You can relax, close your eyes if you choose. Realize this is not a religious mystery. Charles Fillmore, you can discuss anything, any circumstance in your life with God, with your source. Your guiding spirit will respond to your heartfelt questioning immediately or in due time, when the time is best for you. Fresh wisdom and insight will come to you in silent words that only you can hear, meaningful images only you can see, or simply a feeling of confirmation of what is right, that all is well. So here are our questions. Am I giving enough in my relationships? Perhaps a particular relationship. Is it calling for a new balance? Do I appreciate enough my possessions, which really means what God has blessed your life with? Third, am I maintaining a balance between my inner life of soul, my inner reflection, and my outer life in the world of action? Am I maintaining a balance? Do I care enough for my individual life? Me, myself, and I. And am I giving enough to my community life, my place in the world? Holy Spirit, help me to see, to realize what is the simplest, essential need for my well-being. And help me to acknowledge what is the greatest abundance that I can truly appreciate and utilize in my life. Help me to find that balance between drought and flood. Dear Spirit of life, with you all things are possible. Let me create balance in my life. And the final question: do I believe that God is on my side? Do I believe that Spirit wants me to find this balance in life? If you do, hold to that faith, because the days ahead may bring you challenge. Hold to your faith that balance of well-being is possible for you, for all of us. Thank you, God. Thank you, Christ, our guide, in each and every way. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. And you can join me in a gentle, wow. Wow. Life is good. And so it is. And as Judy prepares to share another amazing number with us, I invite you to consider your gifts for Unity South and to really see them not just as a piece of currency or a check, but see them as your gift of love to this, our community, and to our world, that you are sowing seeds for a common good. And so it is.
All right, we're going to create a piece called Enough is Enough. And so there'll be slots in there where I go, this is your part now. Enough is enough. Louder. Enough is enough. Good. Okay, so when I give you the signal, do that 4 times.
Well, thank you, Judy. She made you into instruments. And I remind you this week, when any doubt comes into your mind, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough creativity or whatever. Hear Judy's melody in your mind saying, enough is enough. God has promised you, each one of us, that we have enough to do what is ours to do. Got it out. So let's bless these love offerings. I invite you to join me in our statement on the screen. There we go. Recognizing the value of this spiritual community in my life, I affirm divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive, and I am grateful. Thank you, thank you. Well, let's stand and get ready for our closing song. Enough is enough. No, I think it's a different one. But it's a good oldie that you know. I release and I let go. Her name. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Remember it. Now let us seal our time together with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And that's enough. Oh. Have a wonderful day. We've got great treats courtesy of Don Ramler downstairs, so I'll see you there.